Hey guys, welcome to our review for She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which has both Hulk and She-Hulk big, green, and mean. You know what else is big, green, and mean? Alex wearing his green shirt, AJS shirt. We have these new shirts in stock at Rogues Apparel. They go directly to supporting us in the show. If you want to show your support, go pick up a shirt now. The link is down below, and it supports an independent artist, our friend Chad, over at Rogues Apparel. So thank you so much, and let's jump into the review for Disney+. There's a bit of a break there for superhero content. Not like, I don't know, a few months,
couple
2 months or something like that. So now we are back in from the last series, which was Miss Marvel, into She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and this is directed by Kat Coiro. She did some Florida Girls, some episodes of Dead to Me, Modern Family, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Shameless. So she directs this one, and is written by Jessica Gao. How did you guys feel about the premiere episode of She-Hulk? Which I'm sure is going to be a controversial one.
Yeah, it actually really surprised me. I liked it much more than I thought I was going to. I think that the trailer kind of did a disservice to the show. The trailers didn't look very good, like as far as the CG. I think in motion, in context of greater scenes, it's still not great. But it looks better than absolutely awful. I was worried that they were gonna like completely kind of like neuter Hulk to like lift up She-Hulk, and there's a little bit, but like they definitely show you that like Hulk is Hulk, and then they're different characters. So much better than I expected.
Yeah, I don't think Hulk is using his full power here, but we'll talk more about that in a bit.
Yeah, and so I think it's a pretty good start.
Okay, Joe.
I liked it a little bit less. I thought it was pretty average. I don't know if I'm just super heared out. The whole mansplaining thing is like I've dealt with my emotions more than you have because I've always gotten catcalled. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this is a real good take. And I'm not sure how I feel about the whole fourth wall break. So
I don't think
I thought it was okay. I'm just, I don't know. I guess I'm just feeling super heroed out. I just don't really care about it too much.
Okay. Well, I guess I thought, a lot of people's annoyances on this series is going to be on a few things. Whether or not they buy that she is as powerful or as good without training as Hulk, right? So you're going to get a lot of people complaining about that. And like Alex said, it wasn't as bad as I thought. The trailer kind of tricks you into thinking that, she's always kicking his ass. She's on par with him, no doubt. They at least make it look like that, at least in a unpissed off form. This is not Hulk, pissed off fighting Thanos, right? This is Hulk trying to teach his fucking cousin how to control her powers, and she's being a little fucking butthead, and she's fighting him, and he's not, so I buy that she can hang with him in this particular way. And then I thought to myself, like, why do I care? Who the fuck cares whether She-Hulk is as powerful as Hulk, right? They're fictional characters. I don't give a shit. And then people are, well, okay, he went through Avengers and all this other training. It's like, bro, he wasn't using his full power, and why does it bother you so much if, in fact, they want to make her as powerful? And I really analyzed. I said, you know what? I don't care if Marvel wants to be like, yes, she's as powerful. Okay, here is the power rating: 8 out of 8 on Hulk, and she is and 7.8 out of 8 on Hulk. That I don't give a fuck. So once you kind of let go of that, then that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. What does bother me is she is not immediately a character that's lovable. I think she's very arrogant. She's making a lot of cringe jokes. She's bullheaded, strong-willed, kind of being a jerk, to somebody who's trying to help her. Now I get it. they want to have a character arc, right? So she's going to grow into the character, and become much wiser throughout the series and nicer and hopefully more lovable. But in this first episode, she's kind of grating. So I understand when people get annoyed by the fact that you have her sniping at men, you have her being on the power level of Hulk or beating him at these like individual little games. And then also being kind of a grating personality. However, the actress, I think, does so well with it that I can already tell that when she learns from all this stuff and becomes a better person, I'm really going to enjoy it and roll along with it. Also, like all the lawyer bits at the beginning, hopefully is a tease for some legitimate lawyer bits in the future. I watch Better Call Saul. Love the lawyer bits. I love, courtroom dramas, and I'm hoping we get a lot more of that. But the episode overall felt very like rushed and truncated. I feel like for not only her origin story of getting her actual powers, but then also trying to control her powers before she goes back into the real world, that could have been multiple episodes and really could have given a lot more weight to each individual event. In this single episode, it happens, whiplash, like what the hell was that? How did they crash? Well, what was that? And then okay, now he's leaking blood into her blood, and it just happens, and then so it's a little truncated and it's a little rushed. But I can tell that it's got a good energy to it, and it's got some good writing. And like Alex says, I don't believe the CGI. I think they've added some work to the CGI. It looks better. It's tolerable here. It's not embarrassing as we saw in the original trailer. I think part of the reason why that CGI looks so bad is because Mark Ruffalo's Smart Hulk, his skin is textured and he's got like 5 o'clock shadow and a little bit. But then when you look at her, I don't know if this is, commentary on women and their looks and how they or how society wants them to look, but this version of her is so clean. You know what I mean? It's that juxtaposition between kind of a rough, detailed look and Instagram filter on at all times may lead to that uncanny valley. But other than that, I think she looks great. And then finally, all this in a single episode crammed in. They even want to do a little bit of a boss battle. They even want to do a fight, but it ends in like one punch. So I'm like, bro, why are we doing an entire season in a single episode? A lot of these things could be fleshed out, but I guess it's because they want to give you a little taste. We got a little taste of her training, a little taste of her new powers, and a little taste of, lawyering, and then fighting other villains. So they try to give you a platter, and hopefully this is an appetizer, and then future episodes will then delve deep into individual arcs. So I thought overall it was good, with some problems here and there. So let's talk about Joe. Alex, because Joe already mentioned this, did you feel like there was a lot of talking down to men and the mansplaining?
We knew that was
stuff?
we knew that was coming. That is just some writers want to beat you over the head with something. They want I think that that we could have gone over. We had a scene, a bar scene that first triggers some of the. It's like,
hey, woman, come here, woman.
Yeah, and it's not as subtle and it's not as polished. It is definitely rushed, but I mean, I just think that they just like, well, our audience are idiots.
But does that happen?
Of course it happens.
Yeah. And so do they have a right to depict it?
Over and over again, and then have another scene where it's like she goes through infinitely more anger than you on a daily basis because she's a woman and you're not. It's like, come on. It's like, it's not that there's any.
You ever had a period, Alex?
No, but we didn't bring up periods at all. But it's like, I've been catcalled, I've been grabbed,
You've been damn, Alex, people grabbing on your booty.
Yeah, it's just like
it happens.
That's some brave girls.
There's some subtlety that is completely and totally missing, and they probably just
No,
assume
I
that their
agree with
audience
you.
are
I'm
stupid.
just trying to play devil's advocate.
Oh,
yeah. No, I agree. It's there. It wasn't at a.
She probably killed a guy too because she punched him. She turned into the Hulk and punched him.
Punch
He's
which
dead.
one?
He's dead.
Oh fuck,
He's
you're
dead.
right.
Yeah, he did.
No,
He did. No. He
God,
did.
and that was
By the
unrestrained.
She-Hulk.
That was unrestrained. That motherfucker's dead.
Oh, he did.
That sucks.
Never heard
All
from
right.
him again.
Okay, so here's another thing: is that it seems to be going for high amount of comedy, right? It's like
A little
mile a
too
minute
much.
joke kind of thing.
Exactly.
And for me, I found myself not really laughing at any
right there
of
with
it,
you.
really.
Yep.
I thought maybe some of it was, yeah. But I'm not laughing. So I'm hoping that the comedy gets a little bit better, or they just, bro,
Tone it
relax.
down a bit.
Tone it down. You're trying so hard, I think. But I do feel the potential here because I like the She-Hulk character. I didn't expect to like the idea of the She-Hulk character as much as I do. And I did a little bit more. That might be coming from my more research that I've done in her comics. And we recently played Marvel Crisis Protocol, where I used She-Hulk in that as well. So I like her powers. I like the ideas behind her. And honestly, I don't give a fuck if Marvel wants to make her as powerful as the Hulk. I don't think she deserves that yet. I think, but at the same time, I don't think that she's displayed that. Yes, she has better balance. They do one particular thing, and I'm like, do I buy that? A female would have better balance than a man. If you're completely untrained.
She's been doing a bunch of yoga her whole life.
Sure,
Says,
so that doesn't bother me. I buy that. If you ignore that the Hulk has been doing some serious battle training for the past 15 years and, I don't know, essentially fought in many, many battles. So he probably has
Why would you not wanna
better
get his
balance than the
knowledge?
average man.
Well, this isn't Hulk anymore, right? This is whatever the bastardization of they're like, no, he's Smart Hulk now, and it's like the rage.
So yeah, talk
Hulk.
about that. Do you like the Smart Hulk thing? And also, talk a little bit about that plot point that went over my head. The inhibitor thingamajiggy. It seems like they introduced it only to
make it
yank
completely
it
go
out.
away. Yeah, so I think that what makes the Hulk character really interesting is that he's like Omega level powerful, but that is like he has no control of it whatsoever, right? So we've got genius puny scientist and then massive unbridled rage, and then that's an interesting thing. And now they're trying to combine both of them together, and by doing so, he has control, he has his brains, but he's significantly less powerful.
Yeah.
Like this Hulk would get immediately torn in half by real
yeah.
Hulk. So it's like they're not at all the same character, and so I think that this allows
That's
them.
why she could be as strong as him.
Yeah, because she's not as strong as Hulk. She's as strong as Smart
Hulk.
Hulk, and that's totally like that. That's something that I completely and totally buy.
Yeah.
So I don't like what Marvel. I'm not blaming this show. I don't like what Marvel has done to Hulk the character at all under any
Me
circumstance.
too.
So,
They fucking went right through World War Hulk. They went through really nice arcs that we could have
Yeah.
given Hulk. Now I heard rumors that they might be able to get the full
Universal
rights back to
has-
him.
still has them, I
I'm
think.
hoping that that's the case because maybe that's what they're waiting for to really do him justice. But it's kind of annoying. They also put this inhibitor.
yeah,
I think it's just that they just use that
a
so
plot
he
device.
could, yeah, plot
Because
device.
otherwise he has to bleed. Because
yeah,
it's like, how the
exactly.
fuck do we get
Yeah.
it so we get his blood? Because otherwise there would be no way
Which I
to
think
do
they
it.
changed that origin. I would have
Yeah.
liked the original origin a little bit better, where and I don't know if this has to do with politics, the social politics, where we can't have the man saving the woman because originally, if I got the origin right, is he uses his blood to save his cousin, in an emergency, right? So it's a blood transfusion rather
Is it
than
somehow
an
viewed as weak?
accidental dripping of
Yeah.
blood while two bodies are next to each other. Like
It was
get away from
it was an abbreviated scene that wasn't satifying at all. It
Right.
felt kind of cheap and rushed.
Yeah.
unexplained
And
too. It's like,
it's
okay,
like-
I know we're eventually going to get back there throughout the season because a ship flies in their way and the car veers off
Yeah.
the thing. So anyways, let's go ahead and give a final verdict for the first episode. Also, what sucks? We had an opportunity to watch all 4 of the episodes. We had a screener, but we were all busy and we didn't have time to do it. But you know what? I think I like this because I want to go one episode at a time. I don't like knowing about all the fucking things in front.
Well,
So
everyone
we're
in
going
the
to try
comments get
something
mad at
different here.
us.
We're going to go one episode at a time. Go ahead and give final verdicts.
You don't go?
For me, I think this has potential, but for first one, it's kind of it's an average one for me. It's gonna be a 5. I did enjoy it. The CGI was better than I expected, But like as we've been pointing it out, the pacing on this is just kind of all over the place. They try to do too much with it,
Yeah.
and her character is just like right now it's just kind of feeling annoying. But I get we will have a character arc with her, but right now it just feels like rushed and everything is just fast paced.
Yeah.
I like it a little better. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. I think that this is something that I've kind of wanted from a Marvel series for a while. Not specifically this kind. I just almost like story of the week, lawyer drama type show where it's going to be almost breakneck pacing. Like you watch a thing of Law and Order, the bad thing happened, we do the investigation, we have the trial, and they have to truncate a bunch of stuff
37
because
minutes.
I don't think that everything that Marvel needs to do needs to be of galactic importance. It doesn't need to be building towards something else. And if this is just its own standalone thing, and honestly, we don't need to have, who's coming up at the end of this thing. Like I don't want like a big bad galactic thing. She can just be.
I want her to deal with the crisis of villains and heroes in a world and the legal system.
And the legal stuff.
That's
and
what
I,
I want.
and I think that for that right now,
Daredevil doesn't do that. Daredevil is more representing humans rather than talking with all the superpowers stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding.
Yeah, so I understand the pacing things, and I'm okay with it. I'm giving him a pass. I think that there's some weakness in the writing. I think that it could be a little bit. I don't mind the pointed commentary, but I think you just need to be a little bit more subtle about it to the point where it's just like, it's
Kat and Jessica can tone it down just a bit. I get it that it's being written from a female perspective, and to them it's kind of funny probably to have some men snipes in there because it's a part of the culture. It's a part of life, the experience of being a woman, the experience of having these crippling periods and anger and fear and anxiety and a lot of these things into that. So a lot of those jokes may not be funny for men, and insecure men are going to get super fucking pissed off. But the rest of us is like, we get it. We get the point. Let's maybe,
You got 28 minutes. Let's, we don't need this specific scene. So
minute.
I think it's a solid start, and I'm actually, it's a show that I'm not dreading watching next week.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the next episode. My final verdict is also a 7 out of 10. I think it loses some points for its rush storytelling. It's I get it. I think it's an appetizer plate. When you go to some of the places, you get a little bit of everything on one appetizer plate. And so in that first episode, they're trying to do it. And then she's a little arrogant, a little annoying, a little men sniping going on. And I think that's just kind of her trying to prove herself, or maybe that's just the director and writer kind of overcompensating for an eventual reaction, because a lot of this stuff happens all the time, women hating and then men hating, and it just goes back and forth. It's fucking annoying, and hopefully we can focus on good storytelling, because there is material in the comics, in the She-Hulk comics, that's worth mining, that have great stories to it, and I hope we get some of that today, or in this series. So that's it for She-Hulk. Let's do a spoiler section where we dive into the episode and what happened. And thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys on the next Angry Joe Show. Hey, welcome to the spoiler section. So, I liked how it started. It started with the speech of a lawyer. Felt like, a scene in any of the lawyer TV shows or something where she's practicing her arguments. And I'm like, okay, great. We're going to get this. I love courtroom dramas. She does a lot of talking to the camera in this series. Did not expect that. So we're breaking the fourth wall. This may be the first, maybe second time that in the entire MCU that they broke the fourth wall. Joe, you said you don't like it. I kind of like it in the sense that it's something different we haven't seen before. I don't even care if they explain it. What do you think about the fourth wall breaking?
Yeah, it gets no points, but I take none away.
Road trip with Bruce time. Inhibitor Chip to explain how he is normal scientist Bruce and not smart Bruce. Out of nowhere, a fucking ship, which I'm sure somebody online put in the comments if you know what type of ship this is.
It's a Sakaar ship.
Just, okay, there you go. And it stops the car, and we get no explanation to it. So, like, what the fuck? Is there no better way to contact them, or are you purposefully trying to kill them? Are you purposefully trying to make a She-Hulk? Like, what was the purpose of putting the ship in front of the car?
We don't know yet.
Okay, so so that they wreck the car as the car falls off the cliff. She swings into action right away. It's her that swings into action. Bruce, I guess, is taken out because he was surprised. Doesn't get angry. Doesn't turn into the Hulk. Now, unfortunately, as she's pulling him out from the wreckage, he bleeds into her open wound. Happens super fast. I had to rewind it. And she turns by looking through the car door and then runs away. Like, damn, man, that happened
It's
fucking
fast.
super quick. It's like, I was thinking that the moment that she gets the transfusion or blood, if you want to do a new version, that you would milk it for a little more drama and tension. Like, like maybe fucking, she got impaled by something on a tree or something.
And there's resentment about him
there's
turning her into a monster. Like, there's all sorts of stuff they could have done with it, and they didn't
just
do
feels-
any of it. Instead, he just a drop of blood
Two
goes
drops of blood.
into her scratch on her arm. It's like,
I'm like,
why?
damn, that's a new. Let's turn Bruce into a fucking a donator and just make a Hulk army everywhere. Fuck.
No, because
I
their
was thinking
DNA
that.
is special because of their family.
Did they say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. They did say that. Okay, so she goes. So stupid. So then they get separated. She walks through the forest and manages to find a country bar, and so she's all wrecked up, looking bloody, no shoes. She goes around the back, goes in the women's bathroom. Bunch of women go in there. I don't know, prostitutes, strippers. I don't know, man. Just and then they all start giving her a bunch of stripper clothes, I guess, because you don't need to be treated by no man. And they say, hey, no, we're not sniping men, we're sniping women too, because they said you don't need to be with that man or woman. So they give her a bunch of clothes, and then she kind of comes out of the bar. And then they got to do the scene where it's like men catcalling. So the bunch of guys come out of the bar at the same time, and they come calling at her. It's like, we're just trying to be nice. And then she gets mad at them. And then
Kills a guy.
punches a dude. Does
I don't remember actually
turns.
connect. I know
That
she turns,
motherfucker-
but I think
Yeah.
she gets tackled by the Hulk
I
almost
can't
immediately.
remember the exact order, but
She turns, she
And then
starts
punches.
getting mad, and then
I thought she gets tackled the second she pulls her arm back.
I
It's
don't
like-
remember anybody getting punched and dying.
Well, we don't remember them dying, but like maybe she hits him. Because what happens is the scene changes almost immediately, and something tackles her. There's a shaky cam. You can't see what happens, and it was Banner
Maybe
Hulk.
that's why I didn't remember it in the review, because I don't remember her actually getting the opportunity to. I think Smart Hulk does come in time and stops her. We'll have to rewatch it. But yeah, so he takes her to an underground facility where he's the Smart Hulk, and he's explaining what has happened. And, and then she's immediately goes to, I'm better than you. Her I'm better than you routine. And it's like, why? And then she's giving him shit for, Smug Hulk. It's like, but he didn't make that name. Somebody else gave it to it. It's like, she's the one calling him smug when the first thing she has to say is like, I'm better than you. I get it. Maybe it doesn't come quite through, because I get that between brother and sister, but I don't quite get it between cousins, and they haven't yet established, because I see it all the time with my girlfriend and her brother, like the shit talking they do. It's funny, right? And it's endearing, and it's almost a loving thing. But here, I don't quite get that yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think the audience quite get that yet. So when she's being snippy like that, they're like, fucking bitch.
I haven't seen you in
Instead of
15 years. You literally saved
Right.
the world and brought half the world back by sacrificing your arm. Like,
There you go.
I just don't like this. This works in a Modern Family show that you wrote before when it makes sense, because these
Or
are like
Sunny.
it makes sense that we've established these things. It's not. It's like I said. It's for me. It was fine, but
You
it's
need to
not, it's-
earn it a little
yeah,
bit
it's not
more.
as it's
I
not
felt
as
like you
pulse as
needed
should
to
be.
earn it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what was, I gave it a 5.
Yeah. So, and then so he talks about the inhibitor. Why don't you just give me the inhibitor? We broke it. The
was a
writers wrote
prototype.
it out
It
of the
was just
show.
for him.
Yeah. It doesn't. The show doesn't work if I give you this thing.
And so then he's explaining to her that it took him over 15 years to control it, and but they soon realize that she can control it in an instant. So she's definitely different from him in a certain way. I hope they explore this and maybe explain it, or if it's just it's just because she got a blood drip. I don't even want to say transfusion because 2 drops of blood dripped into her arm. This
Like, I
is
don't care
a
that,
different
like,
Hulk.
she starts controlling it or whatever, all that. But
Yeah, I don't care about that either.
why would you not want, like, the Hulk's help? He's been through it. He's
Exactly.
known what to expect.
Right.
You've blacked
So
out twice. You
you-
almost just killed a
exactly.
man. Like it just
Just why not just embrace
Uh-huh.
it? It's like, all right, well,
And it feels like
help me
forced
out
drama
a bit.
in order to make her
Ex-
quirky
yeah.
and likable by making her, a quib machine. And it's like, but you're making her unlikable, and I think it's too arrogant. Or they're doing it to do the arc so she can get, fucking smarter.
Yeah,
by
she's
the
a
end.
fast learner. Sure, I believe it. It doesn't matter, but at the same time,
except your montage.
So there's problems with
always need a
likability,
montage.
and I
Well,
think
yeah.
it's important to have your character have a likability, especially as, let's say it, as a woman, because men who are primarily going to be watching this series are going to be overly scrutinizing her. Is there jokes against men here? Is she as powerful as a man? Well, she can't be, and all these other things. So, when you pour on all this extra stuff, it's going to piss people off. For example, we have, don't even want to read them. Yet again, Marvel's playbook of introducing a female character who is immediately superior than the male version, half a star. I'm
Get a
all for
review
female
bomb.
characters. However, there's no need to keep dumping on the male counterparts. Story is rushed and boring, and it makes no sense. The end fight is over in one punch. That's good. He's got a good point there.
If,
And has
if
no-
a Hulk punches you and you are not an A tier character,
True.
you
All
are
right.
going. It's over in a punch.
No,
I
what
have
he
no
means is that
problem
fight
with
was
that.
it's not.
She's like this woman like breaks through. She's like, I'm stronger than the average human. It's like you just got sternum punched by a Hulk.
Yeah.
You're dead.
Okay,
What
so
the fuck?
going back to that lab area, I just felt, and I made this note here. I said things are happening too fast at the start, and they don't have weight. She's cracking jokes nonstop, I guess, in order to be super charming for audiences, but it's not coming across. Maybe for female audiences because she's so snippy, and for sarcastic, like people that love sarcasm, and I don't know.
I love sarcasm.
Being a
But I
jerk.
don't feel it.
Maybe that's why Alex likes it more than you.
Maybe.
So no alternative or no alternate ego. That's fascinating. It makes you really want to know more about Hulk's alter ego. It's like, why? Who is this? Why is that only exclusive to him and she doesn't have it? It makes me interested. I hope they address it. Probably not because fuck Hulk. We don't care about Hulk apparently.
Well, yeah.
It's not his show.
It's
He
not.
already
It's
had-
not. We don't have
he
rights
already
to
had
him
his
yet, so we're
movies.
not going to develop him. Like
Right.
when we have rights to make movies about
Then
him, then
we'll
we'll develop him. Yeah. Well, it's just like, okay, if you imagine if you're an evil Disney exec, you're like, we have to lower Hulk's stock so that when we pay for the rights, they're cheaper. We can't build them up, then they'll want more money.
I don't know about that, Alex. He did save the entire fucking world and tried to sacrifice his life. So he did have like one of the second best things in there. No, I think Iron Man had the best one. Then it was Steve Rogers and Assemble and using the Thor. And I think Hulk can get third. Anyway, so Rock throw scene. So in the trailer, they made it seem like, oh, she's way stronger and can throw the rock with her. But it's not like that because Hulk notices that she's trying to one-up him, and he's like, and it throws a fucking rock into orbit, and it goes on fire. It's going so fast.
Your
And I
power.
don't think she can do that right now.
No, it's like her power is that she can have a normal life if she wants to, and he can't, and so he gets to throw rocks into space. And it's like,
There you go.
All right,
And then we do the better balance. She's got better balance. I buy that. That's fine. And then he gets a little mad at her because she is being a fucking punk. He even calls her a little punk, and then he knocks her off the fucking cliff for showing off too much. And then I guess she's got the leap in a single bound, so she just jumps right back up.
Dick move.
I mean, he's just jealous.
He
'cause,
is-
I mean, and it's. I
Yeah,
think.
he
I think
says
this
it.
is kind of viable for him. He's like, I had to go through 15 years. I got locked in a as he said, I got locked in a trunk for 2 straight years in Sakaar, and you didn't have to go through any of that stuff. You get to have a normal life, and this is fascinating. And so Yeah, I think I was
Then he tries to bond with her in a way, just letting her know that, like, because of our metabolisms, we can fucking drink all we want. We can get all the buzz and none of the barf. All buzz, no barf. So they do this drunk scene, or they do the drinking scene and try to bond. But unfortunately, through that, she. Oh, by the way, there was a namaste scene where she tries to do yoga, and then she's not ready for it. She's just like, "Yeah, got it. I know how to do yoga. You hold in your farts, and then you do all these clench your butt cheeks," which reminded me of Jacob when he went to the yoga class and he farted.
It's bound to happen. Is it not?
It's an embarrassing thing, and it happens. It's okay to fart, so I disagree with her. She said, "Hold in your farts, just let it."
She's
fart.
the only
It was
one.
the teacher's fault, though.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
he was stretching.
Right.
He's like, you could do a little bit more. And she pushed him.
He farts
like,
in
"No."
her face. Hey, she deserved it.
She did it. It's
pushed
like,
him.
he's like, she
That's
pushed
right.
me.
That's hilarious. She pushed me to the rest of the class.
It's a
Anyways,
loud one.
yoga and farts, funny. Moving on. But it wasn't funny in that context. It was
wasn't.
funny to me because we have that story, but all right. I wish the show was funnier. She wants to go home. She's starting to be a little bit of a jerk. She wants to go home. She doesn't want to be a superhero. She wants to return to her career. So you got the return of the old tropes. It's like, I got this guy. I don't want it. I don't want this power. I don't want it. It's like, motherfucker, you
I
realize
never
what's
wanted
happening
this. It's
here?
a curse.
I think the problem I have here is the same problem I have in a lot of shows where you need a grown up in the room. It's okay to have a character be immature, and Hulk tries a little bit, but he didn't go to the extent is the first time you hulked out, you disappeared for several hours. The second time, you almost killed 3 men.
Mm-hmm.
You need to learn to control this shit. And she's just like, I have infinitely more anger than you because I'm a woman. And he just didn't go, shut the fuck up. You almost killed 3 dudes and I had to stop you.
Yeah.
And that's all I want from these scenes is I need an adult. It doesn't have to be a man. I just need someone in the room saying, no, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
This is the score.
To kind of let her get away with it is the part
Yeah.
that annoys me. But hopefully, again, maybe in future episodes.
Yeah.
But I would like it in a single episode. It actually makes for a poignant scene. It creates an interesting drama. If somebody were to put their foot down and look, quit being a fucking child. Anyways, she says a bunch of mean things to him and tries to take off. And
I didn't like that.
no, I didn't like that. He's holding the thing. It's nice
he's
and as
trying
patient as
to
fucking
help
possible.
you.
And she just takes the car and runs him over and flings him off the car, and he slams into some rocks and the rocks. And she turns around. It's like, number one, the Hulk's not hurt by that, but she's freaking out because, okay, I get it. She does feel bad right away. Thank you. That's good. She gets out, and obviously he's fine. But this leads to a fight scene between the two. So I guess here we go. We're going to have constant YouTube channels over-analyzing this. And, there's no way that she can win in a fight. It's like, number one,
They were not trying to hurt each other.
not trying to hurt each other. Number two, it's Smart Hulk. Number three, it's a fucking TV show that's trying to introduce a new character. It's like, bro, don't care that much. I promise you, if you stop caring about her power level and whether she could beat Hulk, it'll be better. It's a better show, and you'll be doing much better. So they fight. And then there is, let's see, they get pissed off at each other. They fight, but I guess they work it out. You
Well,
know?
she breaks his fucking bar.
That is a massive dick. But she's being a fucking bitch. I'm just saying it. She's being a fucking bitch and a jerk the whole fucking time. And so she better fucking pay for shit. Well, she does help him rebuild it. And she realizes it. She feels bad. And maybe that's what they need. They just needed to fucking punch it out. They are Hulks. So makes sense that they just needed to fucking punch it out. Does she win the fight? Man, she gets a good fucking punch on his face, which breaks his glasses.
Start doing the clap.
Yeah, that's right. He does the thunderclap, which knocks her. She learns the thunderclap in an instant, but does like a rapid fire thunderclap. And
he could have thrown her into space if he wanted
to,
and he didn't because they're not trying to.
He
kill
threw
each
her
other.
instead into some styrofoam boards or something that snap, and then
the surfboards.
The surfboards.
Who's breaking all these goddamn surfboards? Who's paying for this shit?
So, anyways, they work it out essentially, and she kind of she returns to work. Wait, was that with his permission or without?
Yeah, it's with his permission.
Yeah, because they talked about it, they work it
So
out.
fine,
so
if you want to go ahead.
Right, but I don't think that plot point is over. So we'll have to figure out.
Ruffalo's time's expensive. I don't know if we can afford a lot of Ruffalo cameos.
You know, that's interesting. I think you're right. I think maybe we'll get a tiny bit more, but it's not as big as.
If they go in the galactic threat thing, he may come back, but I really don't want them to. I think I would want them to do like individual episodes. I don't need a complete overarching story through the whole thing. Maybe a little one, but
yeah. So she's back in the courtroom, and she's doing her, lawyer thing, which I'm looking forward to watching. But suddenly, it's interrupted by Titania.
Yes.
I think.
I know
Titania. Yeah.
you know who's not as strong as a Hulk?
Jamila Jamil. Who, yeah, definitely is stronger than the average person and starts breaking shit. And then her friend, who clearly knows that she's a Hulk, so maybe we'll get a flashback scene of that, says, do your thing. She says, what, right here? No, I can't do it. And then finally she's like, all right, so she does it. So she takes her shoes off first because you don't want to ruin your high heels. And then she beats the fuck out of Titania, basically one punch.
Why was she even there?
We don't know. None of that stuff is explained. And again,
I'm here because I'm I'm a villain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting my cousin out of a court case. They could have put some small fucking
Say
scene.
something.
Why? It's like 30.
I'm here for this.
Yeah.
I'm just here just because. Okay.
Okay, Joe. You want them to announce their names too as they come in the room? I am Titania. My powers are this and that, and
Bam,
I'm here for
done.
this and that. And
That's how we used to fight
my
in the grass in
email
third
is this,
grade.
and my Instagram is this. Anyway, she kicks her ass very easily and handily. I thought that maybe, from the trailers, I was like, okay, she's going to be the boss, and we're going to be, like, fighting. No. She handles her in half a second, then transfers back into her form. I did notice, it's like, why when she transforms into She-Hulk, does her hair straighten and it's all styled and everything, but then when she transforms back, it's all frizzy and like it's like because the actress, that's her hair, and then the other one is. And that's just the way it looked in the comics, or is there an explanation for it?
She talks about in one of the trailers how it's like it's almost like her ideal form, right? And so like her eyebrows are different, and her hair is long and straight, and her
that's
She-Hulk
right, all
has
that
makeup
confidence
on.
and yes, it's kind of they do a little bit of that cheetah thing from DC's Wonder Woman.
Once you get the powers, you don't have frizzy hair anymore.
Yeah, and you're not a nerd, and you don't smell bad.
Except
whatever.
Hulk still needs
I'm not
glasses.
clumsy anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, and then it pretty much ends right there. So
There's an after credit scene.
yeah. Oh, that's right. So I did write this down. I do like the art. I like the credits art. So an individual scenes there. She's doing she's trying to do a graph on how Steve Rogers is a virgin, and then all these other scenes. Well done. It reminds me of kind of like what they do for. Spider-Man and Miss Marvel, a little bit of Mandalorian, a little bit with the concept art.
I thought they were doing just like a courtroom art, like kind of what they do. So
Yeah, that's exactly. And then we do have an end credit scene, so make sure you stay till that one. They continue the Captain America virgin joke. This one I liked. It was a little funnier because he's like, finally, he's like, no. Okay, he's not a fucking virgin. He had sex with somebody on the USO tour or something like that. And she's like, you knew it. And she was like faking that she was drunk to get that. And she says, Steve Rogers had sex, or Captain America had sex.
She was going to say fucks, but they cut it off.
And they cut it off. So, anyways, I also noticed at the beginning when she goes into the bar at first, anybody notice there's a QR code on the fucking bar? I was like, I want to see if that's scannable, but my TV, my computer monitor, I couldn't scan it. So, has anybody been able to scan that QR code? Like maybe those channels that are like, 57 Easter eggs. Maybe they'll be able to scan one of those in. But anyway, so that's it. That's episode 1. Like we said it, I thought it was solid, and I wanted to like it more than I did, but I think there's a good solid foundation here for an interesting character, an interesting series, and I'm hoping that it gets better as we go along. Yeah. And pretty much every single Disney Plus series has gotten better as it went along. So
I thought Hawkeye got worse.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you all very much for watching. We'll see you for episode 2. Bye, guys.